Hi guys, welcome to another FPL video on my channel We Love FPL. On this video I'm going to be talking about the chap you can see on your screen there, Mr. Romelu Lukaku. He's been the subject of a lot of discussion on Twitter over the last few days, particularly since his performance against Arsenal. I'm aware that some people have already brought him into their teams, have taken point hits, and this video is really about me kind of giving my view on him as an option and really whether or not we need to be getting him into our teams right now. Now let's have a look at his stats. Now, considering he's only played one game compared to the other forwards who have played two, he is right up there on his stats. Third for XG, 1.44, fourth for shots in the box, seventh for shots on target, and sixth for penalty area touches. And he really should have had 2 goals. For those who watched it, that header he had, it was a great save from Leno. That should have been 2 goals for him. And yeah, he just looked at an absolute threat all game. But to put things into perspective, he was playing against a really poor Arsenal defence. In fact, the whole lineup was just some way short of the kind of first 11, I think. So I think going forward, he won't be playing against defences like that. So my take on it, I think that the key thing for him is if you have a look at his fixtures over the next 4 games. Liverpool away, Aston Villa at home, Tottenham away, Man City at home. Now, they are really, really tough fixtures. And any other player, you'd be saying, no, leave him, his fixtures are really bad. Now, yes, Lukaku is a really good striker. Obviously, he's better than most of the other players, possibly barring Kane, and Chelsea are a better team than pretty much everyone else apart from Man City. However, what you have to consider, in my opinion, is what is he going to do in comparison to the cheaper options? And there are many. I've just talked on my previous video about a number of options in the sort of 7.5 to 8 million price range. So what you got to ask is, now bearing in mind as well, those are the players who I've talked about, they all have really good fixtures. So is Lukaku, what are the chances of him absolutely running riot over the next 4 weeks and scoring loads more points than all of those cheaper options? I would say it's unlikely, personally. I'm not obviously for a minute suggesting he's not going to score any goals. He probably will, but you've got to weigh it up and take into account the price difference between him and those other options. He is, 4.5 million more? You could do a lot with your team with that money. You could have obviously a much stronger midfield, or you put more money into the defence if you wanted. So for me, now is possibly not the right time to get him. I think Calvert-Lewin and Antonio, for me, are the 2 absolute must-have strikers. Now obviously that does leave a third spot. You could potentially have Lukaku as well, but you've also got the other players like Bamford, Jimenez, Wilson. Now, as I said earlier, how many points more is Lukaku going to get than those other guys over the next 4 weeks? I would say possibly not much. Certainly not arguably £4 million worth more, if you see what I mean. So for me personally, I am not going to be looking at him just yet, and I certainly wouldn't advocate using wild cards now to accommodate him, or taking loads of point hits to bring him in. For me, that's just not the right thing to do. because don't forget you've also got Kane, who has now emerged. He's staying at Tottenham. He scored in the Europa League the other day, and at the end of the day, you can't have everyone. You just can't have all these guys. I did have a little play about with my team to see how I could accommodate Lukaku if I wanted him, and I concluded that if I was going to get him, it was going to have to be at the expense of either Salah or Fernandes, because if I kept Salah and Fernandes and crowbarred Lukaku in as well, it means far too many downgrades of other players, and for me it just makes the overall team weaker. Now of course the other argument is the captain dynamic. Now as far as I'm concerned, without Lukaku, with Fernandes and Salah, you've got the captain covered for quite a few game weeks, certainly over the next 4. So yeah, that's just my take on him. I do think that there will be a time to seriously consider bringing him in, and for me that's going to be game week 7. So after these tough fixtures that Chelsea have got coming up, they do have a great run of fixtures, and of course by that stage also you could have a situation where, say, Antonio's injured, Wilson's injured, perhaps some of the other forwards that I've talked about aren't performing very well, and Lukaku is about to go on a great run of fixtures. So that's kind of my opinion on it. I don't think you need to get him right now. I'm not saying it would be the wrong option to get him now. It's just my view on it. It really just comes down to those fixtures. I just don't see. Obviously, the Villa game would be a dangerous game not to own him. But those other 3, I mean, even Spurs are defending quite well. They haven't conceded a goal yet. I just don't see him absolutely smashing it over those fixtures, and I think the other cheaper options will all come fairly close to matching him. So that's it. That's my view on it. Let me know what you think in the comments section. If you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers, guys.